This is On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross, a weekly recap of the 2021 Philadelphia Flyers from blue line to blue line. Broadcasting live from Chickies and Pete's, tonight's show is brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions, Hand and Stone Spa, The Capitol Grill, Pat Dion Beverages, Independence Blue Cross, Chickies and Pete's, and Joseph Anthony Salon and Day Spa. We now go live to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and former Flyers captain Keith Primeau.
And welcome to the beautiful Chickies and Pete's on Packer Avenue near the stadium. It's right here, downtown Philadelphia. I'm Paul Jolovitz. This is On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross, our weekly hockey recap show. Keith Primeau, a guy who you may know from playing center with the Flyers, is our co-host. Your first show of the year tonight, buddy. How are you? Everything good?
Everything's good, yeah. It's this is my first time with you this year. And
this season.
This season.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Sorry.
And it might actually be the first time I've done the show. We've had a current Flyer when I've done it.
We have a current Flyer tonight, absolutely. He's a banged-up current Flyer. The Flyers play at New Jersey tomorrow. He is a right wing, the 52nd pick in the 2016 draft. One of the guys the Flyers are counting on and looking forward to in the months ahead and years ahead. From that metropolis of Carman, Manitoba, Canada, we welcome the wonderful Wade Allison. Thank Wade for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
It's great that you're here. We love, as Keith said, having a current guy is tremendous. There's so much to ask you, so much to get to tonight. I got to start with this, though, because that's what everybody's asking me when everybody heard you were going to be on the show, is your coach, John Tortorella. I happen to love him. I think he's perfect for Philadelphia. I think he's perfect for a young hockey team. I understand it can be a little difficult to play with. We're not going to ask you to delve in anything. We're not going to out anything. But in general, what do you think of Torts?
I'm a big fan. I like him a lot. He's very hard. You got to be ready. You can't have soft skin. You got to be ready for anything. But he does care. He does really care about his players. He wants to win. He knows what he's talking about. And so I'm a huge fan. I'm very happy to be here.
Keith, do you have anybody you can compare to Torts that coached you in your illustrious and long career?
Probably Hitch. I don't know Torts personally. Actually, I don't know if my brother had him in Tampa for a little bit, but just from what you hear, I would say he probably is most similar to Hitch.
Wait, if we go into areas we're not supposed to, just tell us that and we'll stop right away. But we talk about accountability all the time with Tortorella and other coaches in other sports. What does accountability mean to you?
Well, just doing what you got to do. I mean, you can't expect from somebody else something that you're not going to do yourself. So, I mean,
you know who said that originally?
I don't.
That's Bobby Clark's famous quote. I don't ask anybody on this team to do anything that I wouldn't do myself.
Yeah.
Perfect. There it is.
There it is, the ultimate Flyer. You ever say that in the locker room when you were playing?
Well, no. That's how I played, right? To me, that's what leaders do. Is they go out there and they're the hardest working. They're the most committed, the most dedicated. Because then you can go to the next guy and go, hey, you need to pull your weight. So I tried to emulate that with how I handle my business.
And we joke all the time, but you were a hell of a leader, and that was part of the reason why, because you took accountability to yourself. We got a lot of things to get to tonight, Wade, but one of them, right out of the bat, Keith has a son, Caden, who plays in Montreal's organization, another son playing at Notre Dame. Did you ever cross paths with either Primeau anywhere along the line?
I think so.
He wouldn't. I don't think he would have played against Caden.
Caden's a goalie.
He was at Northeastern for 2 years.
Was he in Lincoln?
Yeah. So you might have.
Okay.
You might have.
So I might have been just.
If you weren't at Western Michigan yet, and then you definitely would have played against Chase at least 1 year, maybe
Omaha.
2. He was at UNO.
Yep.
When you were at Western Michigan, and those are Chase's favorite NCHC building, by the way, is Western Michigan. He loved going in there because the crowds are fantastic, great student section, fun building. It's one of those ones that you're going into in the dead of the winter. There's not a lot going on around, and it can be an intimidating place. And they play a heavy, hard game.
Well, my colleague at WIP, Keith Jones, who Wade obviously knows, went to Western Michigan. It must be tough to follow a leader like that. I mean, Keith is from Brantford, Ontario. Some guy named Gretzky also is. So he got used to following a legend, and then he went to Western Michigan, going there after Keith, where he's got to be numero uno. How hard is that to play after Keith Jones?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they don't have statues there of him. It's,
So's he, I think. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, obviously a tremendous player, right? So, I mean, he hangs in the rafters there, so I'm
He's
sure
a better player than he lets on, seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he was
yeah.
in the NHL for 10 years.
Jonesy
yeah.
was.
You play with him?
I played with him and against him, and he was one of those guys that filled a role in a need on the team. He was pretty banged up at the end when we played together, but he was a gritty guy and played honest and we all know what his humor's like. So
Wade, Jonesy was the ultimate yapper, and from everybody in the league like Keith, the best in the league at it. Do you trash talk a lot on the ice? And if you do or don't, who do you play against that's Picasso at trash talking?
It depends on the time, the time and a place. But I think Lawton's pretty funny. He cracks me up on the ice, just the stuff he comes up with.
We've had him on a bunch of times.
Yeah,
a great guy.
Yeah, unbelievable guy. So yeah, just listening to him, just give it to anybody and everybody is pretty funny. TK's also.
I think
really
I see him being a guy that's.
Yeah, he's got the reputation. I wonder if there's anybody under the radar. You're from Wade, a town that I call a game show town, Carman, Manitoba. A game show town, in my definition, is a place that you've never seen anybody win a trip to on a game show. Not too many weeks in Carman via whatever airlines. How far is it from a major city? What's it like growing up in small town Canada? Keith did as well. Carman, I think, is probably smaller than where Keith grew up. But what's that like?
So I'm not even from Carman. I'm from like 20 miles away from Carman.
Nearest post office?
In Myrtle. Yeah, that's not even in my town. You got to go another town over for that one. And back home in Myrtle, there's 29 people now that I'm gone. So
29? Including your family?
Yeah, we got more cows on the farm than people in the town. So it's not out of the ordinary to get a call from the neighbors.
Where'd you play your minor hockey?
So 5 miles down the road, I played on a team like 7 for like four years, just anybody that would play.
Really?
And then I went to Carman when I was 9, I think. 9, played there till I was 12, 13.
So how does a kid like you, obviously growing up in a tiny town, get the competition that gets you ready and seasons you for a league like the NHL? Not easy, is it?
No, not at all. I mean, you're just looking for anybody that can play, So it just kind of building up. As I got older, just slowly went to bigger areas, and then I came to America here when I was 15. So that's, I guess, where it kind of took off.
And went right to the USHL then?
I played 1 year U16 at Omaha AAA.
Oh, okay.
For David Wilkie.
Dave Wilkie, who's the coach of Omaha in the USHL now.
I have a friend named Dave.
It's similar to with Kelly Chase, the Koshers. There was a bunch of them. They're Saskatchewan guys, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and it's same. They literally, and it's because you're probably on the outdoor rink all the time, so they're working on their skill set. They're not getting the competition necessarily, but they're playing whoever will play them. They're all farming boys, so when you get into a game, they're playing the same way you are.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a really interesting story, and that was kind of why I was wondering how you ended up at Western Michigan, being from small town Canada. I always find that perspective interesting for a Canadian kid who most of them grow up wanting to play major junior,
sure,
and end up at a college with and a degree. So
I'm guessing the Keith Jones aura just drew you there. Am I wrong?
Yeah. I saw what he did at Western Michigan. I thought I might as well give it a try. I don't know, I wanted to go to the Dub growing up all my life.
Did you?
And then, kind of at like 15, I got drafted in like the 7th round and wanted to go, and they just kind of like sloughed me off at camp. They just obviously I'm 15, I'm not going to make the team, but they just didn't really have any interest. So I was like, I'll try the U.S. route. And as soon as I got to the U.S., things started to click for me. And then Murray being a good Manitoba boy, that's an easy connection.
How did you like Andy?
I liked him a lot. He was tough, but
that's Andy Murray.
Yeah, he used to be here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's right.
Great dude. Like unbelievable person. Can't shut the game of hockey off.
No.
It's in his mind 24/7.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing with a coach? Can it be a
If
little
you're married, if you're married, it's not a good thing.
Yeah. If you're married, it's not fun. But if you're playing lots, then you're good.
Keith is a bigger guy than you are. Obviously, Keith is as big as any hockey player out there. Played center. You're the prototypical power forward in most scouts' minds. Play a rough game to the net. Jonathan LeClaire is going to be here in a few weeks. Play with Keith. Same thing. Greatest power forward in Flyer history. What does power forward mean to you? And do you think that's a fair description of how you play?
Yeah, I do. It's just be heavy, be hard to play against, take the puck to the net. Don't overcomplicate things. Don't be trying to pull some skill moves. Know your role, stay within it, and do a damn good job of it.
There we are. I mean, I always think for someone like me who never played, I grew up in a very small town in Maryland. I'm not a professional hockey player. Everybody knows that.
Well, you keep telling us you are.
Well, I'd never have committed a penalty. I've never gotten in the coach's doghouse ever. But growing up, I mean, you want to be an NHL player. Is that dream self-evident and all-encompassing? You got baseball in Canada. You can do other things. Obviously, there's a basketball team now, but a kid growing up where you are, it was hockey or bust, correct?
Yeah, it's all I ever thought about.
About seeking? You got the Canadian accent? About? No, you still got it.
Because he was out and about.
Out and about. You're on a young team this year, Wade. Obviously, you're hurt. Your style, obviously, power forward. You think guys, power forward must run into people, get hits, block shots, blah, blah, blah. Hockey's a tough game, and you had a torn ACL in college. You changed your draft status for that, waited an extra year at Western Michigan, from what I read. You're hurt now. You've been hurt a little bit last year. Is getting injured just part of the game and you've been a little unlucky thus far?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm unfortunate. Injuries are obviously part of the game. I just happen to get more than others as of recently. So I don't know, it's something I'm working through. It's not something I try and do. It's just something that happens out there, the wear and the tear of the game, like something.
You obviously had concussions, which ended your career, but aside from concussions, a single injury that kept you out a while. What was the worst injury you ever had in the NHL?
Well, it's interesting because we were comparing notes before the show. The injury that Wade has now, I had the exact same injury, but I had it in the Stanley Cup Finals. So I had the opportunity to rest and heal over the summer. But that was probably one of the most painful injuries I ever had.
The oblique?
Yeah, lower body.
Yeah. Oblique's not really lower body, though, is it?
Well, it's not. Well, okay, call it upper body.
It's a bad injury for a baseball player, but for a hockey player, tell everybody, how do you use the oblique in hockey? Oh. Use it in everything, obviously.
You use it getting out of bed. I mean, it's. Yeah. I didn't realize how important it was until it hurt every time I moved. So.
All right, so you were drafted 52nd in 2016. Hockey's not like some sports where you're drafted, step into the show, and whatever you do, you do. You spent some time in the minors. Did you ever give up on not give up, but did you ever think it was taking a little longer than you thought it would? Did you think you could play in the NHL when you were 17, 18? What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to crack the NHL right now, so it's something that did take longer. However, I'm incredibly grateful just to have the opportunity, right? Like how many 25-year-olds get to say they're living their dream, right? I get the opportunity every day to chase it, to see how good I can really get and hopefully make a career for myself. So I couldn't ask for anything more, to be honest.
Were you 19 when you made your NHL debut?
18.
18. So you went straight to the NHL. But the number 2 pick in the draft was, I mean, to me it was more common back when you played. Obviously guys really high up in the draft, like Connor Bedard this year, and going to play a day in the minors. Everybody knows that. But was it more common? Is it a different game?
I think it's more common now, actually.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, it's the high-end kids.
Not that many in the NHL this year at 18, a few, but
yeah, last couple of years there have been. Back when I played, maybe the first overall pick, second overall, but my draft was pretty deep, and there was several of us that stepped right in, but it's not. I mean, I spent some time in the minors too. My first year I stayed up because I had a year of junior eligibility, so I wasn't in Detroit. I was in Niagara Falls. Then my second year I got sent down for 3 months, so I spent some time in the minors.
All right, cool. We're going to talk on the way back about a guy who never spent a day in the minors. The first pick in the 2004 draft, a Russian who plays for the Capitals. He scored a big goal last night If these aren't enough hints, you're following the wrong sport. It's time now for the Independence Blue Cross Live Fearless Player of the Week. Each week we reward a Flyer with this honor. This week it is Wade's teammate Cam York, who's been up a few days. A week now for John Tortorella. Goal and +3 this week in his return from Lehigh Valley. Quality defenseman. Remember to choose Independence Blue Cross today and begin to live fearless like Cam York and like Wade Allison, our guest. Keith Primeau, our co-host on the Independence Blue Cross on the ice. We're back at Chickies and Pete's on Packer Avenue right after this. Stay with us.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. 'Tis the season to ring in the holiday cheer, and nobody does it better. Chickies has you covered with complete holiday party packages and specials for parties of 25 or more. Hosting a holiday party of your own? Chickies Complete Catering makes entertaining a breeze. Or book the Crab Fries Express for your next holiday event. Plus, don't forget to take care of everyone on your Christmas list with a Chickie and Pete's gift card. It always fits and always gets returned. Parties, catering, events, and more. You're covered all season long at Chickies and Pete's.
At Independence Blue Cross, we believe in giving you the tools you need to pursue your healthiest life. From premiums as low as $0 per month to health discounts and cash rewards, it pays to have coverage with Independence. With the strongest network of doctors and hospitals in the region and free 24/7 virtual doctor visits, you can feel confident that quality care is always within reach. Explore your coverage options and enroll today at ibx.com.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
Payroll Service Solutions was established in 2001 to cater to the payroll needs of small to medium-sized businesses. Payroll Service Solutions offers unparalleled customer service while they deliver a complete and accurate payroll. When calling Payroll Service Solutions, you will never be put into a voicemail or go through a series of prompts to get to a person. All customer service representatives are extensively trained to handle all of your payroll needs, therefore saving you time. They value each and every one of their clients. No account is too small. Call Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for a no-obligation review of your payroll needs. That number again is 1-866-PAYEASY. Payroll Service Solutions.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and former Flyers captain Keith Primeau.
And welcome back to On the Ice from here at Chickies and Pete's, presented by Independence Blue Cross. We're here on Packer Avenue. It's time now for the Smart Stat of the Week, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY. That's 1-866-PAY-EASY. Our Smart Stat of the Week, we'll ask Wade Allison this question. You have a teammate who played in his 200th career NHL game last night. Who is it?
200.
200.
I'm going to guess. If he doesn't get, I might be wrong, but.
All right.
Let's say Farabee, maybe.
Farabee, maybe? Just Farabee. That's correct. Joel Farabee played his 200th NHL game last night.
That's good for me to know. I live in his house, so.
Wade Allison has just won a new car. No, not really, but Joel Farabee played his 200th NHL game, the sixth player from the draft class of 2018 to reach that number. That was your Flyer Smart Stat of the Week. Once again, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today, 1-866-PAY-EASY for the smart choice in payroll services. Payroll Service Solutions, catering to small and medium-sized business to handle all of your payroll needs. Call them once again at 1-866-PAY-EASY. We were talking, Wade, about the captain and the like. You're with a very young team, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. But you don't have a captain. You have Scott Lawton who wears the A and nobody else who wears the letter. Keith was the captain of the Flyers when he played here. How important is somebody wearing the letter, and how important is the captain in general, or you just go out and play and whatever it is, it is?
Yeah, I mean, that's your leader. Right now, we're looking for everybody to step up. You know, it's not out just for one guy or whoever the assistant captains are. You know, it's for everybody to step up. And I mean, obviously Lawton's an incredible leader and an even better guy. You know, so that's somebody right now that we've identified as somebody who we want to lead this team and who all of us will go to war for. So
before I see with the captain, Keith, we were talking before the show. You two guys were actually. Scotty used to live in Philadelphia. I think he's over in Jersey now, but got married. But you live in Philadelphia. When you were a Flyer, Keith, pretty much everybody lived in Jersey, right?
Everybody did. We didn't. The Philadelphia thing didn't start. I don't think until Richard.
Claire lived in Pennsylvania, didn't he?
He ended up, but he wasn't in the city. These guys
was outside.
He was out on the main line,
Yep.
and he was commuting. Like now, you know, I don't know if they built a house or renovated a house, but a big place on the main line. And but the neighborhood I lived in Voorhees, there was this town Wade. There was about 9 or 10 of us. I could throw a rock and hit about 5 of my teammates' houses. It was good because everybody had kids and you know, they grow up together and stuff. But they started migrating downtown. And I don't know, do you guys do your pregame skate at the center now, or do you?
No.
Over in Voorhees.
Usually in Voorhees, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You're a young guy, though, single guy.
yeah, they don't mind.
big
They don't mind
city.
the drive.
Yeah. I mean, how'd you choose Philly?
I was living in the hotel. Fairby was like, "Yeah, you want to live here?" I was like, yeah, "Please."
That is interesting. Obviously, you got a very young team. We always hear about young. Young does not mean bad. Young does not mean anything except young. But you guys can grow together. What does a young team mean to you, and how does it feel to be on this particular young team where you may have a chance to grow for a bunch of years with a bunch of guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of exciting for the future. I mean, you look at it, we do have a lot of young guys. We got a lot of young guys who are really talented players who will hopefully be here for the next 15 years. You know, it's something you can build around, get a core group of the younger guys and really build something.
You came
we have some, but
yeah, but you came into a veteran team when you played, right, in Detroit?
Yeah, so it was more of a veteran group. They just kind of had a bad year the year before, so they were picking high. So it wasn't like Quebec where you had, you know, they were a young team and they weren't very good and they needed players and so yeah, and I had some veteran guys that I really learned a lot from. Brad McCrimmon, Dave Barr, John Chabot, Gerard Gallant.
He played. Gerard Gallant, the coach now.
He played in Detroit.
Seems like he's 100 years old, but he's not that old. Actually.
He's not that old. He's not that old. He played with. So the line was Yzerman, Gallant, and Probert, and nobody touched Steve because
it's like Gretzky, Semenko, and
yeah, exactly.
Shorley.
So Probert took on all the heavyweights, and Gerard took on all the middleweights, and nobody touched Stevie. So, but I mean, there's something to be said for both paths. You know, veteran guys in the locker room. But in my opinion, the only way to win today's game is to actually build through the draft. So giving young guys the opportunity, and I look back at the Tampa team that was actually coached by Tortorella. They were a good team. Richards and LeCavalier and St. Louis, but they didn't have the veteran presence. And the year that they turned it around was the year they went out and signed Tim Taylor and Dave Andrechuk. But they were at that point where they were ready to take the next step, and those guys brought some direction to the ship.
Well, Scott Lawton, you've already mentioned him as your veteran presence. I mean, there's a lot of ways that a hockey team is built, Wade. People love watching you play, love watching the kids, and people in Philadelphia also love watching fist fly. Keith was never shy about that. You play with Morgan Frost, JVR, among several line mates this year. I'm sure you'll play with many others. Fighting really is not a part of the game like it used to be. Is a part of your game, and if so, will you take anybody on at any time?
Yeah, I got to start mixing it up here soon. I just haven't found somebody yet. I'm not out searching for it, but I'm definitely not going to shy away from it.
Yeah, what is this? People say you want to go, I mean, like it's an invitation to a wedding or something, and then somebody says yes and you drop the gloves. Is it that formal or is it just bang?
Sometimes.
That's the question. You want to go, and somebody I remember playing with Dino Cicerelli in Detroit, and somebody said
5'2".
Yeah, he goes. And he used to get under everybody's skin, and they said, "You want to go?" And he goes, "Yeah, sure. Where are we going?"
Right on the ice.
Right on the ice. That was one of the funniest things. Yeah, I mean, it's you're looking for a dance partner. You got to ask the question.
You do. Wade, have you, in your limited career thus far, have you ever been on the ice with Ovi?
With who?
Alexander Ovechkin?
Yeah, my for second game.
Any impressions?
Yeah, I got the best seat in the house to watch him hammer home 2 one-timers. I was watching perfectly from the bench. Couldn't have had a better seat. It was unbelievable.
Well, last night he scored a hat trick against the Blackhawks. 800 goals for his NHL career, 1 behind Gordie Howe, 94 behind my favorite player, Wayne Gretzky. Keith, Wade, I asked you both before the show, full disclosure, what 800 means. Peter Laviolette had an interesting way to put it last night. He said, this isn't about the Blackhawks and the Caps. This isn't about hockey and winners and losers. This is about a man and an unbelievable accomplishment. And he praised the Blackhawk fans for giving him a standing O. And Taves and Kane at the end of the game came over to him. What do you think about 800 and will he go all the way to number 1?
Yeah, and that's what people who understand the game and the players that understand the tradition and how hard it is to accomplish things within the game will have an appreciation for milestones like that. And 800 goals is an absolute monstrous milestone.
How many did you have in your career, for example?
250 plus. But
not
yeah.
bad.
Yeah. I mean,
not bad. Is right? I hope I get that.
Yeah.
There we are.
So 800 is just a massive accomplishment, and I think he beats Gretzky's record, and I said earlier, and that never gets broken after that. But like you said, never is a long time. But it'll take
change the rules or something.
The nets get bigger.
Wait, you talk about this. I mean, Tiger Woods had to win his first tournament. Babe Ruth had to hit his first home run. Pete Rose, Ty Cobb had to get their first hit. When you're looking at a guy with 800 goals, not that you're likely to get there, nobody is. Obviously, he's third in NHL history, probably be second after the next game. What does a number like that mean to you? And when you were on the ice with him, did you stop for a second and say, I'm watching this kid, this guy that I grew up watching, or playing against the guy I grew up watching? How'd you react to playing with him?
I don't even have 800 shifts in the NHL. So yeah, he skated by me. I was like, holy shit, I'm really doing this, right? My first game was against Crosby too. So it's kind of like...
That's funny because as players, you just have a mutual admiration and respect for other players. I mean, I was at the end of my career and I was playing against Crosby, and I remember playing against Crosby.
Just a rookie year, right?
He was just rookie year. He's literally not even 10 games in, but I took mental note of the fact that I was playing against Sidney Crosby because you'd heard about how talented this kid is, and he's lived up to that billing, and so there's you just have a appreciation and admiration and respect for the game and the players that play it.
All right, question for you, Keith. Obviously, Wade hadn't played enough, but love Wade's opinion also. Crosby obviously has won more than Ovechkin has. He's more of a well-rounded player than Ovechkin is. Ovechkin's a pure goal scorer, had Olympic problems, whatever, but he's won a cup, won every trophy there is in the sport. You're starting a team. You take one kid at 18. They're going to be injury-free their whole career. They played forever, and they both will play forever for you. You want Ovechkin or Crosby to start a team?
I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know if you can.
You got to take one. You're a general manager now.
Man, oh man.
Are we paying them the same?
You're paying them the same thing. Yeah,
exactly.
Just a better player. You can make everything else you want.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, pure goal scorers are hard to come by. Not that well-rounded, superstars aren't either, but I think I'd probably go with the goal scorer.
Wade, you?
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go Crosby if I'm starting a franchise. I mean, there's no wrong pick.
No,
that's
there's no wrong pick.
People usually say the same thing to me. Who do you want, Kobe or Jordan? Whatever sport, whatever comparison. I always say, whoever you take, I'll take the other. There's a current one, Messi or Ronaldo. I like Messi better, but if you take Messi, I'll be happy with Ronaldo. Neither Messi or Ronaldo is here, but Wade Allison is. Keith Primeau is our co-host. We're Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. We'll talk to Wade about the Flyers and where they're going Keith Primeau as well when we come back right after this.
The last thing I remember, I was outside Chicky and Pete's.
Of course, George. Chicky and Pete's is Philadelphia's most decorated and award-winning restaurant.
I give each of the kids a Chicky and Pete's gift card. It's the gift that always fits.
It's almost as good as getting your wings.
Yeah, that's right, Clarence. You can get your wings at Chicky's, and crab fries and lobster pizza and a hot beef sandwich.
You see, George, it really is a wonderful place, this Chicky and Pete's.
Payroll Service Solutions was established in 2001 to cater to the payroll needs of small to medium-sized businesses. Payroll Service Solutions offers unparalleled customer service while they deliver a complete and accurate payroll. When calling Payroll Service Solutions, you will never be put into a voicemail or go through a series of prompts to get to a person. All customer service representatives are extensively trained to handle all of your payroll needs, therefore saving you time. They value each and every one of their clients. No account is too small. Call Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for a no-obligation review of your payroll needs. That number again is 1-866-PAYEASY. Payroll Service Solutions.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
I'm always striving to live my healthiest life, so I need a health plan that has my back. With Independence Blue Cross, I get access to the largest network of doctors and hospitals in the region and free virtual doctor visits 24/7. Plus, with premiums as low as $0 per month, I can stay on top of my health and keep my budget in check. Independence has given me coverage I can count on, and they'll do the same for you. Explore your coverage options and enroll today at IBX.com.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and former Flyers captain Keith Primeau.
All right, back with On the Ice, and Wade Allison's our guest, Keith Primeau as well. Keith, I've told you this story before. I didn't think you were a very nice guy in Detroit. You had that scowl on your face. I've never been more wrong about a player in my life. You came here. I covered the Flyers. I talked to you all the time after games. One of the nicest people you'd ever meet. Wade, you seem like a hell of a nice guy. I feel the same way about Brandon Graham with the Eagles. We're going to talk about the Eagles in a second with Wade. Brandon Graham's a guy that I find it hard to believe how he turns from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde on Sundays. I find that hard to believe with a lot of people. Wade, how do you turn the Mr. Hyde on, and how hard is that to do? Because you seem like a very nice guy, unassuming off the ice, but you got to be a killer on the ice, don't you?
Yeah, you just flip the switch. It's we're out there to compete. I'm out there to win. So it's you or me. You know, it takes over the competitive edge.
Primo, how hard is that to do?
I mean, the competitive things. The competitive side of you just dials in, right? I think sometimes it's harder to decompress than it is to get revved up. But I mean, you look at it's funny because I had this conversation with somebody the other day. They're like, this tough guy. He was like, he was shocked. He was philanthropic. He donated his time. He was the nicest guy off the ice. I go, yeah, those guys are all like that.
Well, you talk about the goons of hockey, Stu Grimson, the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, I played with Stu.
Plenty of other guys. It's usually, and I've asked them this question directly, And then they say, listen, we fight for a living. We can't be angry for a living.
Yeah.
We channel it all on the ice. Off the ice, we try to be nice to people, whatever. Wade, it seems like the fighters were always the nicest guys around. Does that seem like an oxymoron, or does it make sense to you?
No, that's a very true statement for sure.
They're humble, right? They know what they have to do in order to make a living, but they're just humble guys that have an appreciation and respect for what their job is and what those that they're fighting is.
We're watching Kevin Nagandi on SportsCenter, my first producer ever on WIP. Kevin's a Philly fan. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows people at ESPN are fans. They're people. They're fans of teams. Wade Allison is a sports fan too. So when you come to a city like Philly, I assume there aren't too many Major League sports franchises in or near Carmen right now. Winnipeg, obviously the closest. But are you drawn into this Eagle buzz right now? Phillies World Series.
I'm all in. I'm ready to go.
You went to a couple Eagle games, huh?
Yeah. I've been to a couple.
What was that like?
It was a lot of fun. Just the atmosphere is cool. I went tailgating before one of the times, and just having fun. Just enjoying the buzz and enjoying the good time. Just ride the wave, right? Like it's.
I kind of know the answer to this question already, but both you guys, if you're a Philadelphia Flyer, if you're an Eagle, Sixer, obviously Philly, is it pretty much you call the other team, say, I'd like to come to your games, they hook you up?
No, I just buy tickets online.
Really?
I'm here to support.
All right.
And you probably actually could find somebody in the office.
Once you're around a while,
yeah. I mean, there used to be a great girl. She doesn't work with the Flyers anymore, and she was my go-to. She was my connection to the other teams. And you don't always get it, right? But they'll barter. So if you desperately wanted or needed to get to some venue, you probably could get tickets.
Right.
Even if you had to pay for them, but you could get tickets.
What's the arena like to you, Wade? Obviously, you play in large arenas. You get to the NHL, 17,000, 18,000, your home arena. Philadelphia can be very loud. The old Spectrum was really loud. This arena isn't quite as loud because of the super boxes. What's it like to play in front of that amount, score a goal? What's that cheer like? Does it tingle your spine?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty exhilarating. It's everything you think it would be. I mean, winning a game after is even better. Just hearing people cheer at the end of the game, you've won, your job's done. You can just kind of decompress, go back into the locker room, dance around a little bit, enjoy the fun, and that's probably the best part. That's probably the most exciting part.
Keith, what was bigger to you, the pressure of playing in the NHL or the fun of winning in the NHL?
Well, the fun of winning is way more enjoyable than the pressure.
Well, not enjoyable, but bigger. What was a bigger part of your life? The pressure to win or the fun of winning?
Early in my career, it was the pressure of performing. I think as I got older and you become more experienced and you're less concerned about not being successful. You can survive with some failure. Then it becomes just becomes a game.
All right. Well, just becomes a game. You're now not only an NHL player but an NHL parent. You have not only Caden, who's been in the NHL, but other kids too. Give us a little update on how the Primeau clan is faring right now.
So my older one, Chase, who was at Omaha, is doing his 5th year at.
Peyton Manning?
Sorry?
He played with Peyton Manning? Omaha?
Yeah, exactly. He's doing his 5th year. He's doing his master's at Notre Dame. So I'm super proud of him for that because he's not a student by nature. He went to college to play hockey, and he's at Notre Dame because he wants to play hockey. But he's going to come out with his master's, and that's a huge accomplishment. And so we're really proud of him that. And then Caden has been in Laval all year. Their team has struggled. They're not great defensively, so he's getting lots of shots, which is good. But the numbers don't reflect, who Caden is as a goaltender necessarily. And unfortunately, he's out right now with a concussion. But he's finally starting to feel better. And if he's not back before Christmas, he'll be back right after.
Didn't he get hurt in kind of a ridiculous way?
Yeah, he was sitting on the bench. He was backing up, and one of his teammates went to push, one of the other guys into their bench, and brought his stick over top and sliced him on the forehead for 5 stitches, or for 5 staples, actually. It was a pretty good gash. And that was almost 3 weeks ago. So,
wow.
Yeah, and it's one thing to get hurt playing the game. We all say it's
watching the game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an occupational hazard. But when you're not even, and that was just was the tipping point for him for the first half.
Wade, obviously this game is played to win, and individual goals take a backseat to winning no matter what they are. But the goal, the assist, obviously you have a good time with both. But what's your perfect NHL night? You went out there and obviously you weren't hurt, but what's your perfect night? A hat trick, couple assists, big win, or just any win anywhere?
Just a win. Just go. Just take home 2 points, go into the locker room, have some fun, listen to some good music, dance around a little bit, and then.
What kind of music were you listening to?
Oh, I do it all. Whatever's playing.
Like when Keith played Lawrence Welk and some other. Not quite that much of a generation gap, Keith.
Yeah, that's maybe a little premature.
Well, let's compare. What was the music like in your locker room?
Well, JR had the disco ball going, so and I wasn't. I listened to pretty much anything too, but we were. That's a time when you're was Foreigner and. 80s and 90s music, so it's changed a lot.
Who's the Flyers go-to today, Wade?
Pardon?
Give me a few people you listen to or groups you listen to in the dressing room.
I'm the last guy you want on mute.
I just
sit there and enjoy it.
Yeah,
I don't care who sings it.
But you go into a locker room, any sport, and watch guys getting ready for a game with headphones on, with their own ritual, and other guys that could care less just sitting there. Which one are you, Wade?
I just enjoy the company of my teammates. It doesn't matter to me.
Happier in the NHL. A lot of people say that, guys. Gretzky, I remember when he retired, they said, are you going to miss 50 goals, all the points, Stanley Cups? He goes, yeah, of course I'll miss that. But the thing I'll miss the most is the guys in the locker room, because this is what I do. Echo that statement if you can in your own words, Wade.
Yeah, what's better than just hanging out with 20 of your good buddies, right? You all got the same goal. You're all trying to win every night. You've seen each person go through the work. Every time you're skating in practice, all that suffering that you go through, you're doing it with your buddies. So it makes you stronger.
Let's not pretend. You guys are making big money to do this. Playing a kid's game for big money, enjoying yourself.
I was doing it when it wasn't big money, right? So that's not the driving force. It's not the motivating.
No, I'm not saying it's a motivating force. It's a nice side benefit, though.
Yeah. But I've talked to a lot of guys after they finish playing, and the biggest challenge for them is the locker room camaraderie. They lose that interaction and they feel a little bit lost.
See, what I find amazing about hockey that really is different than other sports. First of all, everybody's so humble. Most from small towns, either in Canada, Europe, even the United States. But the camaraderie in hockey, obviously there's camaraderie in all sports, but guys that were bitter rivals throughout the years are good buddies now. You go into a locker room, obviously you guys are trying everything you can during the game. You don't fraternize before the game. I'm not saying that exists at all, but after the game in the hallway, Wade, guys from one team and another team who might have played juniors growing up together, is the camaraderie one of the great parts of hockey that may not be seen by the public?
Yeah, absolutely. You just kind of have the respect for the other guy. Like I've seen guys get punch each other in the face and then go out and drink a beer after the game together. It's you leave it out on the ice. You're out there to compete. The competitive edge takes over, and then usually it's the guys you hate the most that you get along with.
How easy is that, Keith? How easy is it to have a beer at Chickies and Pete's with a guy that you just knocked unconscious 10 minutes ago?
I fought my brother, so you're asking the wrong guy.
Would you do that, Wade? Keith fought his brother Wayne in a game. If you had a brother that played in the NHL, could you ever fight him?
I whoop his ass.
You got a brother?
Yeah.
Did you play?
He did. He used to.
Until he beat his ass.
Yeah.
There we are. All right. Well, these guys fight and think about their fistic conquest. We'll take our final break. Having a good time with obviously a rockin' Chickies and Pete's. A lot of people here for the holidays. A lot of fun going on. A lot of TVs going on. We're back with On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Final segment. Got a lot of fans here. Thank you for coming. Final segment's right after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Can't go to the game? Be at the center of the action at Chickies and Pete's, your favorite local sports bar, and enjoy our exclusive in-game experience. The sound surrounds you. The energy takes over. You feel like you're at the game, but you're only at Chickies and Pete's. Even better, no concession lines. Go to Chickies and Pete's on game day for our one-of-a-kind in-game experience. You're in the game at Chickies and Pete's.
At Independence Blue Cross, we believe in giving you the tools you need to pursue your healthiest life. From premiums as low as $0 per month to health discounts and cash rewards, it pays to have coverage with Independence. With the strongest network of doctors and hospitals in the region and free 24/7 virtual doctor visits, you can feel confident that quality care is always within reach. Explore your coverage options and enroll today at ibx.com.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Payroll Service Solutions was established in 2001 to cater to the payroll needs of small to medium-sized businesses. Payroll Service Solutions offers unparalleled customer service while they deliver a complete and accurate payroll. When calling Payroll Service Solutions, you will never be put into a voicemail or go through a series of prompts to get to a person. All customer service representatives are extensively trained to handle all of your payroll needs, therefore saving you time. They value each and every one of their clients. No account is too small. Call Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for a no-obligation review of your payroll needs. That number again is 1-866-PAYEASY. Payroll Service Solutions.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and former Flyers captain Keith Primeau.
All righty, back with On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. We got a great young player with the Philadelphia Flyers here, Wade Allison. Keith Primeau is our co-host. Wade, I always think of myself as I went to college here and stayed. My professional sports career was limited to thinking about it and dreaming. Yours is not. You're going out tonight after the show, for example. You're in a big city. Fans love you here. Fans here all over you. Is that easy or hard to get used to, the identity of coming from a small town to a place where you're adored by many? What's that like?
I mean, it's definitely new, but...
How do you stay humble? I remember Lindros coming here, Keith, and I mean, I don't know how, obviously that's the extreme, but how hard is it to come into a city and immediately be Elvis, basically, and where we, you know?
It's actually, I think it's a little bit of a learned skill, actually, because I didn't handle it well early in my career. I'd be sitting at a dinner table, with my girlfriend, who's now my wife, and people are interrupting, during dinner, and I just didn't deal with it professionally or well enough.
Is that a privilege or a curse, Wade, or both?
I mean, it's got its good and its bad.
Yeah, and I think and so I think you have to learn and to understand that it is a privilege, because at the end of the day, these are people who support what you're doing, and your job isn't just going out on the ice to perform. It's all encompassing.
Well, with that said by Keith, and you mentioned earlier, Wade, obviously you're trying to win hockey games. Duh, that's why you're here. But if I said, what does being a Philadelphia Flyer mean in total, not just in hockey, what does being a Philadelphia Flyer mean to you?
I mean, it's the coolest thing in the world. I couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, I'm so grateful just to have this opportunity to be here. I mean, great city, just having fun, living my dream. Like I couldn't possibly ask for more.
How much of a dream is it? Obviously, it's a dream, but you guys are a couple steps away from that now, obviously. But someday, maybe after the playoffs, to lift World Stanley's Cup, what would that mean to you? What would it mean to your parents? What would it mean when you took it back to the little area near Carmen, Manitoba, for a day after the playoffs ended?
Yeah, I mean, that's the dream. It's been the dream for 25 years. It takes up a lot of my thought, you know. That would be, to me, the coolest thing that could happen in my hockey career. I mean, that's what all of us are trying to do.
Yeah, Prims, I mean, yesterday the NBA renamed all their trophies, the Michael Jordan MVP trophy, blah, blah, blah. And you win a championship in any sport, the Lombardi trophy, but hockey seems to be different. I mean, you take the trophy home. Some people do things with it that we can't talk about here, but it's a different thing. The Stanley Cup it's almost like a living human being. Why is that, and how do you feel about it?
I like the fact that they.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, and that's what's part of what separates the Stanley Cup from other championship trophies, and it makes it so special. Is the opportunity to share it with, and that's just a recognition of how humble players and their roots are. Is an opportunity to take it back to where they come from. It means not only so much to the player themselves, but like you said, their family, their friends, their community, and it's very cool.
Wade, I hate to do this because I know you haven't won the Stanley Cup, and guys hate to talk about it, hate to touch it. Some won't, some have superstitions, whatever. But if you won the Cup this year, if you won the Cup whatever year, and you took it back to Manitoba, you got a day with the Cup, obviously the NHL guys with you, what do you think you'd do with it?
Drink with it.
Whole family?
Everybody that wants to come.
All day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just keep filling and refilling?
All night too.
What's the drink of choice?
It doesn't matter that day.
Stanley Cup?
Whatever they're pouring.
Well, it's interesting to me. You came through juniors. We don't really have juniors in the United States for football or anything else. You have AAU programs, but junior hockey is a little pro thing unto itself. You build it with other families. You may play where you live, but what's that junior thing like? Does it give you a taste of professional sports before you're actually in the NHL, or is it a little bit overdone?
I mean, juniors is really cool. I had a lot of fun in juniors. It's definitely not professional. I mean, you have no money. You're broke. They're not paying you. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, just the camaraderie of having 20 of your good buddies just there all the time. It's just, I mean, you really just can't beat that.
Do you have a relationship still with the people you build it with? Yeah. See, that's the other unique thing about it is you become part of their family and the fabric of.
That's interesting, Keith. You played a long time in the NHL. Obviously, you're also in a big city. You stayed here after you left. You knew 1 million people in Atlantic City and Philadelphia, but 20 of them are in your dressing room, guys you played with, whatever, a limited amount. Obviously, knowing everybody, being a human being in society is cool, but what's that 20 like? What's the locker room like? And how much do you hang out with your teammates outside of hockey?
So, varying degrees. Like I'm sure Wade spends more time with his teammates. He's a younger guy. He hangs out with the younger guys. I was a father of 4 by the time I was 27, and so I didn't go. I wasn't going to the bars. I was going home to change diapers, and I also learned early in my career too. I was really close with a player named Yves Racine.
I remember him
in Detroit, and we were the only 2 young guys, and so we had an older group, and he got traded halfway through my first year, and I was devastated. And at that time, I almost swore to myself I wouldn't get close to another teammate. Obviously, you do, but I also recognized for what it was. At the end of the day, you're passing acquaintances. In a lot of instances, I have some close friends. I still talk to a few of my teammates, and then when I see others on the road, I'm super excited. I was in Notre Dame on the weekend, and I ran into Martin Jelena, who's doing
player for Gretzky in the Gretzky deal.
And that's right. And he's doing player development for Calgary, and I hadn't seen him in years. And we didn't miss a beat. And
well, you played against your brother and fought your brother, so this is probably a stupid question, but was it hard to play against Steve Racine the first time you played against him?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe a little awkward, because you don't want to run him over, but
but you do.
Yeah, but you do. Yeah, it's the same. I mean, friends off the ice. It's all business on the ice.
Well, Wade, you got plenty of young teammates, plenty of talented teammates, and they wouldn't be here. We talked about Joel Farabee earlier. A lot of people in Philly talk about Carter Hart, how the Flyers haven't had a go-to goaltender maybe since Ron Hextall. Carter Hart's a young kid under a ton of pressure, a nice guy. Kind of peel back a layer of hockey and tell us what's Carter Hart like off the ice, on the ice, everyday human being.
He's a great dude. I like Carter a lot. Just so nice. Like not out to hurt anybody at all. And I mean, he is under a ton of pressure here. I mean, he was brought in when he was like 20 years old, and to be a 20-year-old goalie in the NHL is, you don't see that.
You can see that with Caden, sure.
So it's rare, right? And so for him to stay there and to still be the goalie and to continue to get better each day, like he's so good. Like in practice, I don't score very often, not on him. So it's like,
it's great to hear him. He saved you guys a bunch at the beginning of the year. Obviously slowing down a bit now. What's it like, by the way? I don't want to talk about your record, obviously, although it's okay. You're a team that's growing. You're rebuilding. It is what it is. But you guys lose every game that you lose, it seems like, by one goal. You don't get blown away. You don't lose 800-0. How frustrating is it, the overtime losses, obviously, to be just short, to play hard, to have effort, and to come up short as often as you guys are? I'm sure it'll change, but for now, what's it like?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can look at it that way too, but you can also look at it as, I mean, we're a mistake or two away from winning each of those games, right? We're never getting shit on, right? We're always right there. So if we can limit one or two more mistakes per game, maybe get a bounce here or there as confidence comes, you get streaky, this stuff starts bouncing in for you. So it's a good sign, obviously you want to win every game, right? So losing's never fun, but we're one or two mistakes away each night from.
Keith, you were with teams who were one or two mistakes away and then turn the corner. What's it like when you do turn the corner and do start recognizing your potential?
Yeah, oftentimes, they say teams in the playoffs need to lose before they can win. Well, it's no different than the regular season, right? Teams, part of it is learning how to face that adversity, and it only makes you stronger. And Carter Hart's a perfect example. The kid, it's when things turn here, he's going to be a major benefactor of that because of the challenges and the adversity that he's had to deal with to this point. So.
All right, finally, we got about 2 minutes left, Wade. I could ask, we could be here for 4 hours. You're an unbelievable guest. We really appreciate you coming. And Joe Seville of the Flyers, kudos to him for bringing you here. You talk about Scott Lawton as your veteran. You guys have a lot of veterans that are hurt. Sean Couturier, Cam Atkinson, Ryan Ellis is out for the year again. How frustrating is it to have to be as banged up as you are, obviously yourself? How frustrating are injuries in professional sports? Can't do anything about them, but how do you feel about it?
Yeah, you're obviously trying to build the best team you can, right? And if you're missing an entire first line and a top D-man, right? It takes away, all of a sudden it gives you a $30 million salary cap disadvantage over every other team, right? So it's tough, right? Those are the players you want to lean on. Those are the players that when you're losing games by one goal frequently, right? Those players come back, they're adding a goal or two each night, you know what I mean? So that's a big missing part for us, and that's part of the reason why we're struggling right now. And maybe we can't hang our hat on that, right? It's a next man up mentality. So
all right, well, next man up mentality. I wish we had much longer to talk, Wade, but all good things must come to an end. Love to have you on next year again someday. Thank you so much for coming. Best of luck. Hope you feel well. Hope you get back on the ice. I'll be in the press box when you guys play, cheering for you to score and cheering for you guys to win. A hell of a nice guy, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Keith, great first job this year. Be back in 2 weeks.
This season.
This season. Correct.
You stand corrected.
I stand corrected, obviously. See you in Glassboro in 2 weeks. Brad Marsh will be with us next week. Bernie Perron is on vacation till February. That's what happens when you won 2 cups. You get to go on vacation. We're not going to go on vacation. We're back next week in Glassboro with another edition of On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Chris Herman produced this program. Keith Noonan helped back at the station. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for Wade Allison, and thanks for Keith Primeau. I'm Paul Jolovitz for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Thanking Chickies and Pete's, and thanking you and saying, go Flyers.
You're listening to 1490 WBCB, Levittown, Fairless Hills, Trenton, and now heard as well on FM at 107.3 FM, W297CL, Levittown.